Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday, January 13th. Luz Gonzalez here with you. I'm so excited. Happy New Year. This is our first official training here in our Facebook group from 2021. We are live from Texas. We finally made it. Feels so good to be here with you all. Streaming in from Austin, Texas. If we have some Texans in the house, let me know. Also, let me know #live if you're catching this live. So it's 2021, and we are, now that we aren't, as you guys saw, we were living in Mexico. We've been sort of all over the place, but now we're situated. We're looking for our more permanent place where we're going to be living. And what that means for you is that we are going to have a whole lot more consistency in these trainings and expert interviews that we're going to be bringing here to this group, and the incredible value that you're going to be getting here. So again, if you're here, let me know where you're joining us from. I know that we have people from all over the nation, all over the world. So let me know where you're joining us from and what your business is. And again, welcome to the group. If you are new here, we're so excited to have you. And this is going to be an incredible year with incredible trainings. Today, what we're going to be talking about for our topic is going to be listening to the market. Okay, so you are here because you are a coach, you're a consultant, or you are a service-based small business owner, and you are working on bringing on more clients at the high tier level. What we look at as the high tier level is going to be sales above $1,000, right? So we have our own system that we teach you. We teach our clients in terms of what's low tier, what's mid tier, what's high tier. And then you also have the premier. And so where we really focus on in these trainings every single Wednesday. So I come on one Wednesday and then Matt will be on next week. And we're going to be focusing on the marketing, on the program creation, right? And then the selling of your high ticket programs. And so this is a space and a time that you guys get to come and ask questions. And today we're going to be talking about creating offers, creating products and services based on listening to the market. So the reason that I wanted to focus on this topic today is because it's been top of mind, right? So we have a lot of our clients that we work with, and here, let me just check in to see if you guys have any comments. I want to be able to make sure that I get to your comments. Okay, let me start here. Okay, let me make sure that I can see you guys. Here we are. Okay, so if you guys have any questions or comments, you can put them into the chat box and say hello. All right, so we are going to be talking about listening to the market because we want you to make money, right? You're not part of this group to just sort of be a fly on the wall and to just listen and to not take action. You are part of this group because we're going to be sharing the strategies and the best practices in 2021 for you to bring in clients, for you to make money in a way that changes the world, in a way that you provide value for your clients, right? At the high tier level. So you're selling at $1,000. Anyone who we work with, if you're one of our clients, you know that when you start with us, you start by thinking, what do I need to put together to create a package, to create a program that starts at $1,000? You're likely going to be creating if you guys follow Russell Brunson, your value ladder, right? We call it the value ascension model. So you're going to have multiple offers, and you're going to have a different value set that you provide with each of these offers. And then what we're going to be doing is then you market, right? Then you market it, and you are going to be selling, right? Because the whole point that you're here and that you're doing the work that you're doing is, one, as a business owner, you have to make sales, you have to make money. Otherwise, it's a hobby, it's not a business. And then you're going to go change the world, right? So we're here to empower entrepreneurs just like yourselves to make profit and make an impact in the world. We have a big goal in terms of the sort of metrics that we're holding ourselves to in terms of the number of people that we want to support, just like you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up our presentation here because I want you guys to understand the context of what it means to listen to the market. I have seen too many people coming to us and asking questions about, hey, I'm doing a life challenge. Hey, I'm starting a Facebook group. Hey, I'm doing this webinar, right? And the thing is, hold up a second. So often we have to go like, whoa, wait, why are you doing it? What are you selling? So what we see so often in this world of coaching is you guys are doing a whole lot of work, but you're not doing work that concretely and specifically leads to sales. And if that is your approach, we can't be surprised when you doing a lot of work just has you feeling like you're spinning your wheels, but you're not making sales. So let's demystify this process of why you're creating Facebook groups and you're creating challenges and you're doing trainings and you're going on lives and you're doing all of these things, but it's not translating to sales. Because just like a doctor, you go to the doctor and you're like, hey, doctor, I have a headache. These are my symptoms. That's kind of what we do, right? If you haven't done a diagnostic with us, that's exactly what we do. We hear your symptoms of what's going on in your business. And then we say, here's the prognosis. Here's what we're looking at. Here's where you're likely having some issues. So let me pull up for you guys to actually be able to see what's likely going on behind the scenes when you're getting stuck. And let me know, have you felt stuck in that regard? Like if you have felt stuck where you're like, yeah, well, I created a challenge. I created a thing that everybody's creating these things, but that didn't lead me to sales. Or I had one person show up. I had 3 people show up, right? And you spent days and days and months working on this thing and then crickets, right? Like 3 people showed up or 10 people showed up. And like the 10 people you brought there, it was so much work to do. That's because on the back end, you have a problem, right? Houston, we have a problem. So let's talk about what's actually happening. So let me pull up this presentation here. Da-da-dum. All right, so we can officially welcome you to our show. So welcome to the High Ticket Client Online Secrets show that we do every single Wednesday here. I did say sorry for that we're starting a little bit late today. We've been moving, we have different time zones, and so we're getting readjusted to being in Texas, but excited to be here. So welcome. We do this once a week, every Wednesday at 12 p.m. PST. And this is where we come on to do a mini lesson and then we answer your questions, right? So some of you guys have reached out to us and said, hey, I have a question. And then what we have to say is, oh, I'm so sorry, that's reserved for our clients. So this is the time that you guys can come on and ask questions. So if you guys have questions that you want me to answer during this time that I'm going to be here, I'm going to be here anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, depending on the questions that we have. You want to make sure that you add your question right now so I can get to it. Okay, so we're going to go very quickly through the logistics. So community guidelines, updates and news, celebrations, folks of the week, and then Q&A. So welcome to High Ticket Client Online. This is a program. This is a Facebook group, a community where we come together to turn you into magnates to help you create a high ticket program online that sells. We help you create a 4- and 5-figure online program that sells, becomes an online magnet for your dream clients, and use social media and digital content to make more sales without feeling lost or overwhelmed by social media, tech, or marketing. Community guidelines, and I'm going to go through these very, very quickly. This is a place where we come together and we bring the energy. It's 2021. It's a new year. We're doing incredible work. This is a place where, again, we keep these standards high. We keep the bar high in terms of our energy. How we do everything, how we do anything is how we do everything. And your energy impacts you so much. And so this is a place where we bring lots of energy. We say goodbye to our comfort zone. Yes, to courageous and perfect action, because that's the only thing that's going to actually show you results. We have fun and we choose joy no matter what's happening in the world, in the economy, in the environment. Our perspective, right? Our choosing, our state is so critical to the results that we have in our business. So here in this community, we have fun and we choose joy. Bring your first full self. Maybe you're having an amazing week. Maybe you're having an off week. Maybe you're feeling really frustrated because something's not working in your business. You are welcome here exactly as you are, and know that you have a community here of other coaches, consultants, speakers, and service-based small business owners who are here to support you and have you be successful. And finally, number 5, we go big and we raise the bar in this community. So if you guys have any celebrations to share with us, share them in the comments. We're so excited for you, especially if you're catching this on the replay. We want to hear what you're celebrating. Okay, so for our focus of the week, again, you need to listen to the market. And I wanted to come up here to look at this right here. So these are the 7 pillars. If you're new here, you might be new then to the 7 pillars. But this is key for everything. Have you guys taken our quiz? We have a really incredible quiz that allows you to know where you are in the 7 pillars and tells you exactly what you need to know in terms of what you need to be focusing on. And if you guys haven't already checked out our website, you can go to our website and you can take the quiz right here. You can also then go to learn more about the business archetypes right here. So the archetypes coincide with the 7 pillars. We have pillar number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And this is actually a sequential process. A sequential process means that you don't get to skip 1, 2, and 3 and go straight to 4. If you do that, which many coaches, speakers, authors are doing, you're going to find yourself at a place where you're spinning your wheels, you're doing a whole lot of work, but you're not getting a lot of results. If you've ever been there, that's because you skipped some steps. And the most likely, right, so we have this diagnostic where we diagnose your business to see what's going wrong. For most people, what we see is you jump straight to the rock star. The rock star is where it's your job at stage number 4, pillar number 4. It's your job to focus on your branding. It's your job to focus on the funnels. It's your job to focus on, all of the outward facing pieces of your offers, of your packages. But we don't do that, right? Until we have done the work that is required to build really great programs, to build really great offers. So by the time that you share your offers, people go, oh my God, yeah, absolutely. Like a $2,000 package, I'm in. Like a $10,000 package, yes, I'm in. And so what's often happening, and you guys can go through and you can learn more about each of the stages, each of the stages here, and then you can know which one you are. So suppose if I'm the rock star, I can learn more about the rock star here. A lot of you guys, what I see is you actually start with rock star and you're doing all of the new shiny things on the internet and you're not getting results. So listening to the market. When we talk about listening to the market, we're actually going back to secret agent, right? So pillar number 2 is the pillar that we're talking about when it comes to listening to the market. So at this pillar, you want to build something that the market wants built. So often I hear from people that want to build something because they want to build something. And they think that just because they're really good at what they do, or they think that because they are really excited about the thing they're building, that should be sufficient for them making a lot of money and turning this into a full-time business that can, have you pay your bills, every single month and have you leave your 9 to 5 and do this work 9 to 5 or do this work full-time. It doesn't work that way. It does not start with you. There is the principle, the NAY principle. The NAY principle stands for not about you. In pillar number 2, what we learn is that we need to decide back in pillar number 1. So we have a masterclass training where we talk about some of these things. If you guys want access to that masterclass, let me know and I'll give you access. We also have a really incredible training coming up where we're going to be talking about all of these things happening on February 25th. So if you want to sign up for that, let us know, hashtag masterclass in the comments. And as soon as you can't even register for it right now, but hopefully by the end of today or tomorrow, you'll be able to register. So where we'll be talking about the 7 pillars. Okay. Pillar number 1, where we need to focus on if you're going to make money is, and I've had this conversation with my sister. She's building her business. And sometimes she gets a little bit frustrated because she's like, oh, I have so many ideas. I want to build this and I want to build that. And it's like, I. This is what I want to do. And the thing that I want you guys to understand, it's that it's nay. It's not about you. building a business, yes, it gets to, set your soul on fire, and it gets to be really exciting, and it gets to be challenging, and all the things that you get to learn and the ways that you get to grow. But the thing is, for you to be profitable, which is the goal here, this is the monetization method, right? This is going to be the monetization method, how we go from not having a monetization plan to actually monetizing and knowing how to do so predictably. Is it starts with the who. It doesn't start with the what, and it doesn't start with the how, right? It starts with the who. Who are you serving? That's back in pillar number 1. Then we move on to pillar number 2. Then, which the question is, okay, so now that we know who you're committed to serving, now we need to think, what is the problem that they have? This is where we go into USGA, right? Paul, you got it. I will send you, as soon as that's ready, either tonight or tomorrow, I will send you for you to sign up for our newest training that's coming up. Nobody's seen it. We're super excited about it. Okay, so we get to pillar number 2. This is where we get into USGA. You guys have heard me talk about USGA before, probably ad nauseum. I'm really excited. I'm going to be getting some USGA shirts because it's so important. If you want to make money, you must USGA. I feel like maybe that's what I will write on the shirt. Like, if you want to, I don't know, if you want to make money, you got to USGA. You have to USGA. What is USGA? Especially if you're new here, you're like, what, Luz, what are you talking about? That's not even a word. It's not a word. We created a concept for you to easily remember the 5 elements that are necessary for monetization. That's going to be urgency, specificness, an identifiable group of people that gathers on the internet in the tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands or more, and that you can find them right easily. So they gather together, that have the ability and the willingness to buy your products or services. If you don't have all 5, you have a low score USGA. A low score USGA means everything. Guys, we're only at pillar number 2. It means everything after pillar number 2 is going to be harder for you. It's going to be harder for you to get people on calls. It's going to be harder for you to close sales. It's going to be harder for you to build, sales pages. Have you ever been on somebody's somebody's or a company's sales page and it's ugly? It's like really ugly. It looks like it belongs to 1997, but guess what? It's solving a problem that you need solved, and you don't care that it's ugly. And then we go to some, beautiful, amazing websites, right? Or a beautiful landing page or funnel. And you get to it and you're like, wow, it's really pretty, but it either doesn't speak to a problem I have, or it's not specific enough. And no one's, it's the most beautiful website, landing page, funnel in the world, but no one's buying anything. This is what we see. And this is a pillar number 2 thing. This is USGA. If you have a low USGA, just know that you're being set up to have a harder time. And so the part of the training that I wanted to do today is I have so many people who come to us, and I'm really glad for our clients, because with our clients, we catch them and we go, whoa, hold up a second. Like, you're setting yourself up for a lot of work here that's going to have very little return in terms of profit. You're going to learn a ton. Don't get me wrong. You'll learn how to build landing pages. You'll learn how to do some Facebook ads. You'll learn how to do all of these things that you have to do, build email sequences, etc. You're going to learn how to do video sales letters. You're going to learn how to do all these things. But just know that if you don't have a strong pillar 2, you're going to be doing all these things for a whole lot of work and very little return. Can we get an amen if you've ever been there? I know that I have, right? Like in the past when I first started, which is why we're so passionate about what we do, because we have done this. We have followed the, there was one of the big name gurus, and I followed his program, and I did all the things. And it was a low tier strategy. Our belief is that if you're just starting, you have no business really investing your time in low tier products and services. That doesn't mean that you don't have a place with low tier, but that doesn't come until you've really figured out your pillar number 2 and your pillar number 3. And then you've done some 4, and then you have success in 5. And it's only by the time that we are at 6 and 7 that you really start focusing on the low tier, on the mid tier, right? you first have to have evidence from the market that people, want what you got. And sometimes it can sound a little harsh. You're like, but it's my baby, right? Like, of course it's so good. I'm excited. But just because you're excited about it doesn't necessarily mean that the market will be excited about it. And so we've had people come to us saying, I'm stressed, right? Like, I have this training that's coming up and I want to make sure that I have a really good offer. I want to make sure that you guys have probably heard of the concept, an irresistible offer. I want to make sure that I have an irresistible offer. Or, I'm putting together this training and I want to make sure that, it leads to whatever it is. And the thing that we have to do is like, well, let's back up, right? I've had people reach out to me like, oh, I'm thinking of doing a 5-day, challenge. I'm thinking of putting together, webinar training. I'm thinking of putting together, a masterclass. I'm thinking of putting together a Facebook group. What do I do now? And it's like, that's not the question we start with, right? We have to begin with, okay, like who are you serving? Are those people looking for what you've got? Are they already paying for something in this space? You're going to be bringing something unique. Have you already, this is pillar number 3 now that we're moving into, have you found a way of really establishing yourself as unique and necessary and the authority in your space? Have you created, at least 3 offers? And have you created offers and have you priced them in such a way that when people, like, do you understand the psychology behind offers and even like the psychology of numbers, right? The difference between a number with a comma, without a comma, etc. The colors that you use for the colors as you're sharing them with your people. Have you thought about what it is that you're creating, how it is that you're presenting it, what you're naming it, your intellectual property, right? Like, what is going to be your unique method that you're going to be bringing forth to share with your market that's going to set you apart from any competition that exists in your industry? And then once we've done those 2 things, pillar number 2 and pillar number 3, which is making sure that you're actually going to make money on this thing you're going to be spending quite a bit of time if you're doing any of these things. So if you're going to be spending time on it anyway, might as well do it in such a way that it's going to lead you to actually make sales. What we don't want for you guys is to do what so many people find themselves doing, which is doing a whole lot of busy work. They feel really busy. Oh, I have a new podcast. I have this thing, but they're not making sales. I feel like I'm going to sound like a broken record. Our job, our number 1 reason for existing in this group is to make sure that you have the tools and the steps and the resources to make sales in your business. It's not just for you to look pretty, although your brand looking pretty, not pretty, but like fitting appropriately within your industry is really important. If you don't brand yourself, that's going to be pillar number 4. If you do not brand yourself powerfully, you are leaving thousands to tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table. Branding totally matters, but branding and marketing and the outward approach of what you're doing, it has a sequence, right? It can't be done just whenever, like nilly-willy. So you have to make sure that you know your who. Pillar number 1. Pillar number 2, you have to make sure that you understand, this is where the niching happens, right? That you know your niche within the market. You have to have done the appropriate market research. You have to know, where do my people hang out? Are they hanging out online in the tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands? Then you have to create the right structure for you to set yourself apart, for you to really be the authority in your space. You have to know how to craft your offers, how to present your pitch. I love hearing pitches. I love, being on sales calls, because you get to see how different people structure. And here's where I want you guys to change your perspective on sales calls and sales events. Like, every time that there's an opportunity for you to learn how somebody else does sales, you should learn as much as you can from that, because you want to be an incredible salesperson, right? So we want to make sure that we are crafting our offers and our packages in the best way possible. And then you get finally to pillar number 4, which is where you now create your Facebook group, right? And that should be directly creating a funnel that leads to sales. You create your 5-day challenge, which needs to be part of a strategic plan. Often, I want you guys to really think about this, because I think there's so many misconceptions. I know that there's so many misconceptions in the space. There's the thought of like, ooh, I'm going to do a 5-day challenge and that's going to turn into a bunch of like one-on-ones, or that's going to turn into, I don't know, like a ton of clients. I want you guys to really think, or like, oh, it works for Tony Robbins. It works for, Dean Graziosi. It works for Russell Brunson. It works for Mel Robbins. It works for etc. I want you guys to really understand what they're doing, though. It is part of a business model that I want you guys to open up the curtain and to see what's really happening behind the scenes. There's a structure there. They're doing a free event that then probably leads to some sort of, it can either be a low tier or a mid tier, or maybe for the most part, like if you're getting to a specific level, you're going to need to start getting on the phone for sales. But the way to potentially get around that is through a different kind of event, live event, where you're building trust, right? So you're going to see this, right? So Tony Robbins does a 7-day challenge to lead you to UPW, which then leads you to his premier programs, right? Which lead you to the next level. So none of the people that you're seeing out there, do they function in their space with just one offer, right? So when you come into our programs, we coach you on having a suite of offers that allow people to come in at the right places, so they will continue wanting to work with you. And so you'll know how to create the structure for them to come in where they fit best right now, where they feel most comfortable, and continue to be nurtured and continue to have value being created from you, value, trust, and relationship, so they come in at the right place. And our goal is to then provide so much value that our people that come in at the lower tiers or the mid tiers, they're like, I can't wait to get to a place where I can buy all your things, right? Your goal is to create such incredible products and services that your people that we identified back in pillar number 1 say, I want to buy it all. Like if Paul comes up with something, if James, if Maria comes up with something, they love what you do and they trust in what you do so much that they want to sign up for it all. So just a reminder that sequence matters. You have to listen to the market. If you choose to, and this is really a choice, choose to plug your ears and go, la, 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 I really want to do this. I really want to do this. I don't care what anybody says. This is my project. I'm going to try it. I'm going to do it anyway. That's on you, right? And I feel like sometimes those are some of the things that we see in the market that, you see, and here's my test. And like, you do you, boo, right? You do what you need to do, because sometimes you're just going to have to get it out of your system. But here's some milestones. If you are at that place where you're like, oh, but Luz, you don't get it. I've already invested so much time. I already did this. I already have a few hundred people in the thing. Like, but it's not going to lead to your programs that you're creating, right? It actually doesn't help you create an infrastructure for sales. Then I want you to give yourself 1 month. That's it. 1 month of no sales or low sales, poor sales. But after a month, if you want to push it, 6 weeks, that's it. If you're not making money in 4 weeks to 6 weeks, you need to call it quits. You need to have the commitment to your business, not to your hobby. You need to have your commitment to being a businesswoman, a businessman, that you have the ability and the commitment to say, something's not working, I need to pivot. Something's not working, I need to change. Something's not working. I'm going to really pay attention to the things that I need to do to build a business. So we don't want you wasting time chasing the new shiny object. Right now, the new shiny object is Clubhouse. A bunch of people are spending time. A bunch of people are doing really well on Clubhouse, right? They're bringing in clients. But I want you guys, and it's going to be Clubhouse, TikTok, You have to understand the strategy. And I rather you really figure out, who am I serving? How am I serving them? Like, what is the problem, or what is the problem that I'm solving for people that actually want this problem solved, that the market is willing and excited to pay for this thing that I'm creating. I'd rather you spend your time creating something really fantastic and then figuring out what is the best way to get in front of the people that you already know exist, the people that already want to buy your products and services, and then getting really good at sales. That's where we would encourage you to spend your time. Okay, so that is the mini lesson for today. These mini lessons are also going to be, if you want to, catch it again, or if you just couldn't catch it live, these will also be posted in our podcast. I will put information for our podcast below. Okay, open up for questions. So if you have questions, this is your time to ask any questions about your business, about the mini lesson that we covered today. We really pride ourselves on talking about the most relevant things, the things that we really see happening in the market, and the questions, right? Like some of the lessons that we prepare here are straight from questions that you guys ask as you're entering this Facebook group, which, we're so excited to have you here. So any questions that you guys have, this is the time. After this time closes, you can write down your question and then come to next Wednesday and ask Matt. But otherwise, the sending us questions on Messenger, that's reserved for our clients. If you want to become a client, if you haven't done a consult with us, a diagnostic to see exactly where you are in these 7 stages and the things that are most important for you, let us know. Happy to set you up with a consultation if you haven't already had one. If you already had a consultation and you're like, I'm ready to go, this is my time, 2021 is the year that I get super serious about monetization, you can also DM me or Matt. But okay, this is it. Questions going once. This is it. You guys can also and keep just you can keep sending DMs with questions that then I can bring into our trainings that happen on Wednesdays. So I don't see any questions coming in. Thank you guys for joining. Again, if you're catching this on the replay, #replay. Love you so much. Keep doing what you're doing. Remember that your work matters. Your passion matters. You're here for a reason. Oh, we have a question here. I feel that I'm finally speaking to my target market this past week. Woohoo! Exciting. And the content is better. I'm assuming your content. When should I expect to see some new clients? Okay, Paul. So Paul, we've spoken to Paul before. So I know more of Paul's context. And so Paul, we're gonna sort of have a conversation here on the chat. So did you tell me a little bit more about your specific niche that you changed to? So if I recall correctly, what the conversation we had was really focusing in on the USGA in terms of the mobility piece. Like you can't move, like you can't, get down on the ground to play with your kids or like hug your grandchildren. And that's really heartbreaking, but I can help you have the mobility, for you to do some of the most important things in your life. So tell me a little bit more. What did you end up having your niche be, your USGA? Tell me about your USGA. So I have so many questions for you, Paul, right? So back to what I was talking about, my questions for you would be, okay, what are your offers? How many offers do you have? Where did you find your people? So the biggest question is like, who are your people? So helping parents get into awesome shape. Okay, great. So we're working with parents. And have you found where these people are hanging out? Are they hanging out in Facebook groups? Are they hanging out in, YouTube videos? Are they hanging out? on Instagram, like hashtags where you can find them. Like, where are they hanging out online? In the tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of people. And then, so Paul, you guys know my coaching style. I really don't like wasting any of your time because I want you guys to make money. 2 offers and finding in groups. Okay, my cautious hesitance here, Paul, is probably around copy. I think that this could be a strong USGA. So helping parents get into awesome shape so they can play with their kids again. Potentially, like, that statement is not enough of a strong USGA that, and so here, let's actually find out. So this is what you guys get to do when you join our Wednesday trainings, and we actually get to do this live. Okay, and hopefully the reason that we do this, the Q&A, is that this can be very helpful for you guys, seeing us do this for somebody else. Okay, so I'm going to look for parents. See, like, part of the issue that I'm finding is I don't know that parents are using the language that you're using. Copy really matters, guys. So I don't know that parents are using the copy that you're using to have their problem solved. Like, I don't know that there's a lot of Facebook groups, but I could be wrong. I am always open to being wrong. I don't know that there's a lot of groups of like parents who can't play with their kids because they're not fit enough, right? I'm thinking that there might be like people with mobility issues, or like people in their middle age, people like something having to do with fitness, something potentially like yoga. So I'm gonna look parents and fitness. These are 2 keywords and see what we find here. Oh, very interesting. So then we're gonna go specifically to groups. So groups on Facebook is a fantastic way to find out the suitability and the health of your USGA, the health of your industry. That is, if your industry can be found congregating online in Facebook groups. For a lot of them, they can be. There will be some healthy groups of people, like some healthy markets that won't congregate on Facebook groups. So you just have to really find out, like, where do my people hang out online in the tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands. It's more so that parents in general have a hard time. Okay. So parents in general have a hard time finding the time and guidance to get in shape, period. Okay, so I hear you, Paul. Again, my cautious hesitation here is, maybe you can tell me where you think it's coming from. So we have U for urgency, S for specificness, the I for an identifiable group that gathers, that was the longest one, identifiable group that gathers online in the tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands, ability and willingness. So they, like, these 2, I think, the ability and willingness, I'm like, urgency. Urgency is the one that I am most concerned about. So I want you guys to think of the 5 elements almost as a scale of 1 to 10, right? So you're going to grade yourself. This is a 1 to 10, 1 to 10, 1 to 10, 1 to 10, 1 to 10. So like U, S, G, A, W, each of these is a 1 to 10 scale. So I want you guys to, for your industry, to rate yourself. What is my score? 1 being poor, 10 being awesome, for urgency, for specificness, for identifiable group that gathers online in the tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands or more, for ability to pay and willingness to pay, right? So I could be wrong. So I never base it off of what I think. I will have some gut feelings, but I look to the market to tell me. So we have one group here with close to 9,000 people for fit parents. I would really study this group to see what are their offers, what's working, right? So one of the things that you do back in pillar number 2 is really understanding your market. And so it's going to be really important for you to understand your market and see what's already working. For our clients, for those of you that are going through our programs, we call this the chocolate cake recipe, right? Okay, so fitness, nutrition, fitness and exercise tips, men's health, fitness motivation, food and fitness for busy parents, mindful parenting, parenting group, transform your fitness, health, parenting tips. Okay, are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? Are we seeing that the two worlds of parents and fitness, other than one group, healthy size group, but only one group, we've been able to see through a very quick search, right? And then the question that you want to ask yourself is like, are there podcasts around this issue, this topic? Are there like YouTube videos about this specific thing? Like, where are all of the places? Like, are parents looking for and like reading blogs about like, how do I find more time for getting in shape? So this sounds to me more like less of a parent and more of a, I'm busy because I'm a parent or whatever other reason, and I'm having a hard time finding the time and the guidance to get in shape, period. Which for me, as not being, having the ability to talk to you directly, Paul, feels like too broad of a niche, right? So although it sounded like the specificness was a little bit higher, it actually is just hard time finding the time and the guidance to get in shape. So like the specific problem is getting in shape, and the urgency is hard time. So if they're already having a hard time finding the time and guidance to get in shape, that just doesn't sound the way that I want you guys to think about your pillar 2 people that you're going to solve a problem for, right? That you're going to create a product or a service for, is imagine, and I have a picture somewhere in one of our trainings, imagine a group of people, like thousands of them at a concert, all of them out with their credit card. And that's how eager they are for somebody, like ideally you, to solve their problem yesterday. Like they want this specific problem already solved, and they already have their credit card in their hand. They're just looking for the right solution. Your USGA should look like that. It's kind of thinking, targeting specifically moms, but it seems too saturated. Yeah, Paul, unless, and again, we would have to get to know your situation better. So the thing with the mom industry, it can be very helpful to be a mom in the mom industry. You don't have to, but if you're looking in the mom industry, then again, back to going to pillar number 2 and really looking at the market analysis for your market. We have to see signs from the market. Speak, thou shalt listen and speak to the market constantly, right? If this was a mantra, we would have a conversation and listen. The biggest thing is listening to the market. Thou must listen to the market every day. Whenever we make decisions, we talk to the market. And the thing is, the magical thing is, the market always talks back. The market already has given us the information we need. And so if you're thinking of, targeting specifically moms, then you're going to have to go into the market and see, okay, the mom space, this is not just the mom space, this is the mom fitness space. Who's winning in the mom fitness space? How are they winning? What can I do that nobody else is doing in the mom fitness space? What new thing, pillar number 3, what new thing am I bringing into the mom fitness space that hasn't already been created, that creates something new and valuable and different? That, back to pillar number 2, has a strong USGA, right? Has strong urgency, it's specific, And so those are some thoughts for you, Paul. I know that we spoke before. If you want to jump on for another, to see if this is the right time for you to join our programs, would love to have you join, or anybody else who's catching this on the replay, would love to have you guys join our programs where you get us to answer these kinds of questions literally in your back pocket. I just had someone, one of our clients, send us a question. So you literally have access to us. It's one-on-one. It's very personal. So we talk to our clients via Voxer. So these are the sorts of things that really would be great for you to join into one of our programs. So if you want to jump on the phone, sorry guys, I need to get some water. If you want to jump on Zoom and see which of the programs that we have is going to be best for you, Paul, let's set up some time to talk. And it sounds like we still have some pillar 2 work to do, but just know, now, if you're watching this and you're like, oh no, like I feel like I'm there too, know that that's a really good place to be, knowing that you didn't, jump into 3 and 4 and create all of these things without having, without having your idea been validated by the market. The beautiful thing is that whatever our idea is, whatever the thing that we want to do, we can have the market validate it for us because it's already been validated in one way or another. And we can feel pretty good that whatever we're bringing to the market, people will want to buy. And then the matter of after that, it's just a matter of creating something really amazing, right? And knowing how to package, knowing how to position, knowing how to price, knowing how to do all of those things, which we cover in pillar number 3. And then once you get into pillar number 4, it's actually the branding, the marketing, the external piece. 1 through 3 are internal, 4 through 5 are external, and 6 through 7 are growth. And so that is going to be it for today. Thank you, Paul, for joining us, and everybody else who's catching this on the replay. We will be back at the right time next week. Matt's going to be here with y'all. Especially if you guys have sales questions, bring your sales questions because that is his specialty. Until then, we are so excited to have you guys here in this Facebook group. It is always an honor. You do important work that changes lives, and our priority, our commitment to you is to help you, to guide you to create incredible programs, to know how to create your packages, your pricing, the entire structure, the monetization method, for you to go from where you are now, whether you're a beginner, you've been doing this for a few months, you've been doing for a few years, and you feel so frustrated because you're not getting the monetization piece, right? Like the finding the clients and closing the clients feels really hard. Let's make it easier for you. That is our specialty. That's what we do for coaches, consultants, speakers, authors, and small service-based business owners just like you. We love you. We appreciate you. And I will see you all next week. Bye, everybody.